So I see a pattern, but I don't have an explanation for the pattern that I'm looking at. So, happy July 1st, everyone. That means that half the year is over, right? So, woohoo! We made it halfway through 2020. This is going to be another video that talks about coronavirus deaths, but that is as gory as it gets. There's really no reason for you to be triggered by what I'm about to talk about. It's really bland. But I keep seeing this pattern, and I can't put my thumb on why this pattern exists. And let me just show you what I'm talking about. So if you look over here, we've got the daily confirmed COVID-19 deaths. This is on Our World in Data. This is one of the two websites I look at pretty much every morning for the last couple of months, and then I quit looking at any news about the coronavirus whatsoever because I get too much of it in my life, and I would rather, spend my time thinking about happy things. Anyways, since this is the one website I look at, of course, the pattern here is going to start to annoy me when I can't figure out why the pattern exists. So these deaths seem to be happening in this up and down frequency pattern right here. Up, down, this little sine wave that's happening, right? And if you count the number of days with each peak, there's a pattern, okay? So we'll start here at the first one that goes up, and we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? The next one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? Basically, if I start on this one too, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, there are 7 days in a week, right? So I'm wondering, why are the people who are collecting data receiving the data in humps? Do we actually die that way? I don't think so. I don't think we die clustered on a certain day. Why would that be? So I thought about it like, this is probably a paperwork problem, right? So maybe this was my hypothesis here. By the way, this hypothesis is wrong, and I'll prove myself wrong in a minute. But this is my hypothesis. Maybe coroners have weekends off, and so they they wait till they get back on the job to report the numbers. They have to do some paperwork before somebody's officially dead of COVID-19, right? So that was my hypothesis. That's why we're seeing these clusters, in the week, is because there's this delay in reporting that has to do with people taking a work week of, like, say, 4/10s, where they work Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then Friday, Saturday, Sunday, they take off. And I was thinking, well, what if that matches the data points that I'm seeing? What if that pattern of low numbers on the weekends matches? And guess what? It did not. No, it did not. So this is why I'm making this video, because I'm kind of perplexed. Because if we go to these numbers right here, you'll see this point right here, April 16th. Let me pull that up on a calendar real quick. April 16th was a Thursday. These two peaks right here, April 29th and 30th, right here, those were Wednesday and Thursday. This peak right here, May 13th, that is, let me see, a Wednesday. This peak right here, May 29th, May 28th, that is a Thursday, right? This peak right here, June 4th, that is a Thursday, right? So why do we have more deaths on like Thursday and then Friday and then Saturday here, right? This one right here. Let's go to June 11th. We've got okay, June 11th is this peak. We got Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Thursday, this 17th is a Wednesday. Thursday, Friday, Saturday is the peak. Why are these deaths shifted towards the end of the week instead of Mondays? Like when the coroner gets back on the job and there's a whole bunch of people dead, and all they got to do is do the paperwork, submit the form, and then that person gets counted. You know, if it has to do with weekends, why is it that like Friday night, Saturday night is the spike? What the fuck? I don't know. I don't believe that this spike is anything but recording error. This spikiness to this. I think it's probably a more natural looking curve, but the way that it gets reported, it kind of gives me pause because let's say you're the kind of person that when you take off on the weekend, you don't check the news, right? So on Monday morning, the death count for the day is low. It's low on Tuesday. It's low on Wednesday. You might even not even get Thursday numbers on Thursday morning. You might only get Wednesdays, right? So for the whole week, you're thinking that the numbers are on the low end of what they were that week, and then you go off on your weekend, your Friday, your Saturday, your Sunday, and you don't check the numbers. Then when you come back to them, the numbers are low again. That's not good, right? For a certain type of person, they're going to see that the numbers are lower than what they actually are on average. And then for the opposite type of person, they're going to think that the numbers are higher than they are on average. The type of person who likes to check horrible statistics on their weekend because that's how they spend their free time is just, stewing in anxiety, you know. Um, so yeah, I don't like the way that these numbers aren't on a more natural curve, and I can't explain for the life of me why the reporting is the way it is. It just doesn't seem natural, but it seems like there's something at play here because there is a pattern. It's a 7-day pattern, right? But going back to some other charts from our world in data, there's other parts to this 7-day pattern. Okay, so on this chart here, they have global comparison where are the confirmed deaths increasing most rapidly, right? If you look at the daily new confirmed deaths broken down by country, so you got world here, you can see the fluctuation, the 7-day fluctuation. This is about 3 weeks worth right here, right? You can see that Brazil does the same thing. Mexico does the same thing. India does not. United States does the thing. Peru kind of does it. Just the fluctuation isn't there as much. Iran, uh, just climbing numbers lately. Pakistan, they kind of fluctuate a little bit, but not on the same pattern totally. But when you get down to the here, Chile, they are doing the same thing. There's 2 days here, the June 23rd and 24th, right? That they're not displaying high numbers. So June 23rd was a Tuesday, and 24th is a Wednesday. So why is it in the middle of the week that the numbers are low? You know, it isn't that you just catch it when you're on your weekend and you're trying to get out of the house and you break your quarantine, you go out and you get exposed and you die in the same weekend. This thing has a gestational period, right? So it's more likely that you die 3 to 5 days later, um, more likely 3 days later. Um, and so I just, because a lot gets made out of like, oh, it can last for like 16 days that you could be like spreading it around and then finally you get the symptoms. Those are the extreme skew cases. Okay, normally if you look at some of the studies that have come out from the CDC, like between 3 and 5 days later is when people usually get hit. So if people are catching it on the weekend, it would show up in the middle of the week, but it's not. You know, um, maybe now this is a horrible thought here, but maybe people decide to pull the plug on Fridays on their loved ones who are on respirators. It seems like a kind of arbitrary thing to do to be like, okay, well, we'll wait till the end of the work week to make the decision as to whether we're going to pull the plug on our loved ones. Yeah, I just can't wrap my head around this. But going back to these numbers here, if you look at Saudi Arabia, they do not have this kind of fluctuation. Bangladesh does not have this kind of fluctuation. Some countries have it, some countries don't. France, I can see the fluctuation. Sweden, I can see the fluctuation. United Kingdom, I can see the fluctuation. Something is different culturally between these countries that don't have it and that do have it, right? And I don't know what it is, and I want to know, right? Thank you for watching. If you made it this far, um, I had no live chatters because I started the stream right after midnight. I'm gonna get some sleep and just have a nice day and stay safe.